We're going to discuss what your project brief means, because it's good to have a good fix and bolt that down as much as possible. Now, because of that, I want to spend a little time dealing with the project brief, what it means and how it comes about. In the previous two slides, I was outlining the essence associated with your architect's appointment, and rightly so, and it being a formal document setting out the terms of your engagement with your client. Now, equally, the project brief is a formal document, and it will sit alongside your architect's appointment. Essentially, the project brief describes what is required for the project, and the architect's appointment sets out your design services and how you will deliver them for the agreed fee, that is your services. Now, as the architect for the project, you need to know what is required for the project, for the design and specification purposes, and the building design in particular. You need to make certain that your client is clear as to the options that may exist for the proposed development on the site in question, and this needs to be documented, therefore, by way of a project brief, which will be approved by your client also in writing. So that's why the two of them sit together as signed documents. At the very initial stages of the project, your client may not know the full extent of what may or may not be required to develop the site, and that's not unreasonable. Your client must have a vision of what is required or preferred, and it is this. Scoping out the brief is a very important aspect of the project for you, the architect, and indeed for your client. The time required for preparing and finalizing a project brief will be dictated, of course, by the nature of the project itself and what the client is seeking to achieve. There must be a project brief if you are to know what your client requires and what is deemed correct for the development. And it is incumbent upon you as the architect to make sure the project brief exists, really. And you've got to manage that process. The project brief really is it's a document that really is beyond the design requirements. As you engage with your client through work stage 0 and 1, you will gather a better understanding as to what your client is looking for and will need in order to achieve a successful project. You will also get to know what the project objectives are. You're in the mix, you know what's going on. And make sure you are in the mix, by the way, keep in the mix. You should also be asking questions, and indeed plenty of questions. This will provide you with a very good understanding as to the nature and extent of your commission as the architect and what you believe is expected from you by your client. In actual fact, you are seeking to create that project brief. You will naturally assume you will function as the architect, but does the nature and extent of the project necessitate you being identified as the lead design consultant? Remember, I referred to that earlier. You will have a reasonable good idea about this classification, but it's really, it's just for you to be able to get things clear in your head, how you're going to function on this project. If there are other players, as I said, you're the lead design consultant. You have to coordinate not only what you believe to be the architectural design, but other specialist design elements as well. So you become more acquainted with the meaning of the project at your first briefing meeting, when the essence of the project is usually discussed. And given the nature of the project, that is its size again and level of complexity, you will know by this time whether your client will be engaging a project manager and other personnel to assist the client with his project, and they will be on the client side, as it were. Therefore, getting briefed on your project will not just be about design issues. You will also need to know about your client's intention with regard to engaging other personnel and specialist consultants, perhaps, as this too will need to be included within your architect's appointment. So I would suggest for a simple, small size projects, a project manager or specialist design consultants may not necessarily be involved, which would suggest you are going to manage the total design process for the project and for your client. Your appointment will set out the extent then to which you will assist the client to manage the project, or perhaps your client will explicitly request you to take on the project management role, as well as you acting as the architect, lead design consultant, all of which should be set out in your architect's appointment, of course, and the fees reflected accordingly. You can see now why an architect's appointment document is important. It sets out the nature and extent of your service and what's expected. And you need to have that in place from the word go, in my opinion. I always make sure I do, for sure. Deciding what should be included in your architect's appointment is a topic for another video. So I will deal with that separately then. It's so much to go into that it does warrant a separate video.